Hello and welcome to Niagara Park Stadium for the second preliminary final of the Waratah League Division 1 Men's. Will be played between Hills Hornets and the Tamworth Thunderbolts. I'm Jack Howard and next to me is Joe DeGeo. Good afternoon, Joe.
Good afternoon, Jack. Pleasure to be here.
Joe, you called a fantastic game in the first one, so whoever wins this will progress through to the grand final tomorrow to take on the Canberra Gunners Academy.
Well, the Canberra Gunners are a fast, young team. They played really, really well in a very, very close match. Even though the point differential was 10 points, it was a lot closer than that. I'm hoping for more of the same. And a very big congratulations to the Illawarra Hawks who did bow out just before in that game. Just introducing the Hills Hornets starting five. At number 6 is Carl Carlos. Number 7, Marvin Fidel. At number 8, Jamie Youth. Number 15 is Joshua Warren. And number 23, Heath Whiteman. Fantastic, and for the Tamworth Thunderbolts, number 4, Riley Murphy, number 11, Quayshawn Hawkins, who's just picked up the most valuable player of the competition, number 13, Reece Chillingworth, number 14, Justin Leahy, and number 18, Chris Gilton, in what could be his last game for the Tamworth Thunderbolts. Apparently he's a really, really nice man too. Yeah, fantastic, and he's been with the setup for quite some time now, probably just over a decade now, Chris Gilton, so he's been around, he knows the colours, he's been to this stage before, so they're hoping to see him out with a win. Today's game will be called by Rob Bevan, Brendan Lloyd and Matt Williamson. 3 excellent referees. The officiating here at Gosford has been outstanding for the whole tournament so far. It's great to see, and another thing that's outstanding, Joe, is the crowd behind us. They've come in thick and fast for this last game of the evening here at Niagara Park Stadium. One of the things that Coach Jim Roditis of the Hills Hornets was acknowledging was the fantastic Tamworth people. He says that they've split the honours this year and they've taken 1 victory and 1 loss apiece. But apparently this rivalry goes back for some time, for the last few years at least. Yeah, look, it doesn't surprise me. 2 of the better teams in their respected pools, Joe. The 2 victories, 2 games you're talking about in round 4 when these 2 teams meet, it was the Hills Hornets that got the win at home, 74 points to 63. And then in round 15, the Tamworth Thunderbolts defeated the Hills Hornets 79 points to 55. The Hills Hornets are actually the only team to beat the Tamworth Thunderbolts thus far this season, so they'll be very wary of the green team. Well, the Hornets have obviously ruined a season of faith perfection, but here we are at the tip-off. Both teams lining up, giving out high fives. Everybody seems to be in very, very high spirits. It is a very beautiful day today, Jack. That's fantastic, and it's really exciting. These teams have known they've been going to the hot play finals basketball for a couple of weeks now, so they've been prepared for this and probably looking forward to the challenge. This one will go high, this jump ball. Ooh. Tap-offs at 1 there by the Hawks nicely. Riley Murphy for the Thunderbolts, number 4, will look to do a lot of their ball carrying as it's with Justin Leahy now. They move into Skilton down low. Very strong defence inside. Skilton's done very well to hold on to the ball there. Puts up the shot. Unlucky there. Rips down the rebound. Marvin Fidel kicks it out. Shot's good. Fantastic start, and that was Carl Carlos to score the first points of the game. A lovely 3-pointer to give his team a 3-0 lead. As an English teacher, we teach tautology, and Carl Carlos is no better example of that. Great drive. Lovely drive by Quayshawn Hawkins. Quayshawn Hawkins has averaged just under 20 points all season, 402 for the year. A fantastic tally for the American for the Tamworth Thunderbolts, and he's started his campaign quite early on here today. Definitely someone Coach Roditis has got his eye on. The Skilton comes away with the board. Quayshawn. Easy 2. That gets the Tamworth faithful cheering. Yeah, it's all to our left here, isn't it? It's fantastic to see both teams have a very strong bench here, and I'm sure both coaches will be looking to use it, particularly with the grand final just 24 hours away. Great defence, forces the error as Tamworth gets the defensive stop that they're after.
Chris Skilton loves to use all of his height underneath the basket as he finds an open Riley Murphy with an easy shot for another 2 points. And it's been a good start here for the Tamworth Thunderbolts, just finding a fair bit of space in the Hills Hornets key there, Joe.
It was a very, very clever pass as their defence collapsed to deal with the veteran. And Carlos bags a double from out the side.
Yeah, Carlos has brought his Raider here to Niagara Park today, that's for sure. 2 lovely shots, 2 from 2 for him from the 3 line.
And one, Murphy with the strong play. His teammates acknowledge their effort with a high five. An opportunity to extend the lead by 3. But pretty tight game so far, wouldn't you agree, Joe?
Yeah, both teams have definitely made the most of their attacking plays here and been almost perfect with their shots. Riley Murphy looks to turn it into a 3-point play, and he does exactly that to give his team a 9-5 lead early here in the first quarter.
Geez, I love semi-final basketball, Jack. It brings out the best in everyone.
It does, and it brings out the best in this crowd. It hasn't taken long for them to get right behind both respective teams playing here today as the shot's up from the Hills Hornets.
Joshua
No good.
Warren misses with the 3.
Reece Chillingworth makes no mistake with the rebounds.
Sean Hawkins goes, dribbles, drives. Floater inside, draws the foul. Jeez, he's exciting to watch, isn't he?
It is. He's got a lovely drive game to him, and when he wants to pull up for a 3, he's quite handy from outside that line as well, let me tell you.
And how was his MVP award received by the Tamworth basketball people?
I think they were very proud and thankful that he came out and gave his time. One thing Quayshawn Hawkins has done brilliantly for Tamworth is just be a community man. He's been running basketball drills whilst he's been here in Australia and giving all the juniors in the club an opportunity to learn off him.
Hornets. Carlos takes an extra step. Travel call.
That's Chris Skilton coming off early on for the Tamworth Thunderbolts, and replacing him is Matt McGann. Scott McGann, I should say there, Joe. It's always annoying when you're commentating, brother. That's Scott McGann on the court now for the Thunderbolts.
Here we go. Hawks defense gets a touch. Strong power play.
Justin Lee there, and he's continued through, gets the rebounds, and the 2 shots are good there, Joe.
6:48 here at Niagara Stadium. The Tamworth Thunderbolts have a 13-6 lead over the Hills Hornets, with Justin Lee at the free throw line to see if he can convert the 3-point play. Great rebound from McCann. Kicks it out to Hawkins. Hawkins, top of the key, doesn't fall. Great board again. Amazing.
Yeah, in the early stages, it's definitely been the Thunderbolts that have been the better team in the air, and off the back of that, been giving themselves plenty of second and third, and in this case, 4th chances at the basket.
Hawkins misses the long-range 3-pointer. And Jamie Newth with a beautiful little teardrop from the free throw line.
Lovely counter-attack there by Jamie and the Hills Hornets. The Bolts definitely have the momentum at the moment and are kind of dictating the speed this game is being played at, but the Hills Hornets have looked threatening on the counter. Shots just wide there by Reece Chillingworth and easily dealt with by Jamie Newth.
Looking for an opening, sets the high screen. Nowhere to go there. Great defense from Scott McCann as he gets a hand to the ball with 5 seconds on the shot clock.
I think Coach John Ireland will be very happy with that start by his team, and off the back of that he's making a substitution, bringing Riley Murphy and Justin Leahy off and coming back on in their replacement. Looks like it is Brock McMahon and Toby Whale.
Marvin Fidel. He had an excellent season. He played every single game, averaging 14 points per game.
Yeah, they'll look for Marvin Fidel, I would assume, to really lead them in attack. 279 points thus far this season. It's been a great season out for Fidel. Toby Whale's first chance of the game, and he shoots a little bit wide there.
Fidel with the rebound. Great defense. He takes on Keyshawn
Fantastic.
One-on-one.
That's the play you want to see, isn't it? The two teams leading men going head-to-head there, and it was Fidel who came out with the goods that time.
Well, semi-finals is all about somebody standing up and being counted. And it's great to see the Stars came ready to play.
That's fantastic. Speaking of Stars, a lovely ball there by Quayshawn Hawkins to find Toby Whale to split the key in half, and an easy layup there for Whale to finish that attack.
Beautiful feed down low to Joshua Warren. But great interior defense. Hornets looking for an answer as Tamworth Thunderbolts jump out to a 6-point lead with possession.
The lead has allowed Ireland to look to his bench early. Of his starting five, only one remains now, which is handy for Ireland wanting to rotate his players and use all the depth he has on that bench.
Well, you're going to need your legs and some petrol in the tank at the end of this game by the looks of things. Great rotation.
Unlucky there by McGann. It was a fantastic ball to find him free with plenty of space on the three-point line. Let's see what the Hills Hornets can do.
Starting to get a little bit physical down low as Carl Carlos doesn't get it to fall. Great, strong drive. Good defense keeps them out.
Yeah, he stood his ground there, stood very nice and strong, and made the Bolt try and shoot over the top of him, just couldn't do it. And a lovely counter-attack there. And it's the Hills Hornets.
Griffel with the bucket. First of the game. Look at down McGann, down low, out top, Keyshawn Hawkins. Stutters, steps, drives. Great ball movement from the Thunderbolts. The teardrop won't fall.
Does draw a foul there, and in early stages in this game, it is the Hills Hornets that have definitely committed the more fouls. I think that's 4-0 now on the foul count there, and as a result, it's Brock McMahon going to the free throw line.
The Thunderbolts have been showing a lot of good discipline on the foul front. They've yet to commit a single team foul. Brock McMahon makes the second, taking the lead to 5 points. 17-12 at Niagara. Youth controls it on the 45. Finds Kwaku Brefu. Down low, he backs. Beautiful, strong play. Looks like a handful to contain that low in the paint.
The Tamworth Thunderbolts have had a little bit of a problem with giving up. A fantastic shot there by Brock McMahon there, 3 points. I was going to say, Joe, the Thunderbolts have had a little bit of a problem on giving up their early leads when Ireland has looked to his bench. And I'm sure he's hoping that this team will do the job and protect that lead and build on it.
Well, basketball's also about sharing the love, and it's great to see a coach that is not afraid to go to his bench and give them game time.
And it's a very hard weekend to coach for, I'd assume. Obviously, you want to win this game and do everything you need to do to win that, but you've got to also be mindful that there's a grand final to be played in less than 24 hours if you do get the win. Lovely shot there by the Hills Hornets. It was Benjamin Graham to open up his account for the Hills Hornets, and Benjamin Graham has had a fantastic season, netting 245 points, averaging at 13 per game thus far this season.
Pretty handy fella to come stepping off the bench.
Very handy fella, and speaking of handy fellas, another 2 points for Quayshawn Hawkins, and they're just going toe-to-toe at the moment.
Ben Graham kicks it down to Fidel. Will they go inside? We don't need to. The teardrop doesn't fall. Great rebound by McCann. They kick it downstairs.
Lovely play by Whale to beat that player. 1-2 layups, no good. And not too many. Oh, fantastic play there by McGann to keep the attack alive. just can't find his man, and as a result, it's the Hills Hornets that come up with the ball.
I am loving the intensity on both ends. This is a very good game as we come to 1:37 at the end of the first quarter.
6-point lead to the Tamworth Thunderbolts at the moment. As you said earlier in the call, Joe, you can tell that there's been no lot of love lost between these two teams in recent years.
Hornets moving the ball around well. Noose drives. Great defense. Brock McMahon called for the foul. He's first.
A quick chat by the Hills Hornets before Newth comes to the free throw line. They've been a lot quicker on their attacks, the Hills Hornets. Haven't wasted any time getting the ball to the basket and creating opportunities, and a little bit different to the Thunderbolts, who are more than happy to use all 24 seconds of their shot clock. Lovely play from the free throw line there.
He's a very good guard, Jamie Hughes. They switch on Hawkins. It draws the double team. From way downtown, Brett Mann.
Would have been an impressive shot if he sunk that, McMahon. Very well done by Chillingworth to keep the attack alive, but just couldn't find the ball.
Refu, and they call the offensive foul. What a big call. Great defense, Kayshawn Hawkins putting his body on the line for the team. That was a very big defensive play.
And Brufo was the one. They had plenty of space. He could have easily pulled up and had a very open shot there. He'll be disappointed with that outcome. Nothing gets the bench going like an offensive foul, though.
And the Tamworth faithful shaking their pom-poms and clappers. Control, great drive. He has not missed very many drives. No wonder he's the MVP for the season.
Lovely play there. He was actually a little bit disappointed that he hadn't earned himself a foul and an opportunity to turn it into a three-point play. Lovely ball there. Just couldn't pick it up. He found his man too. He'll be disappointed that that wasn't picked up nicely. And as a result, it's McGann that goes all the way and scores for the Thunderbolts on the counter.
Beautiful up and under. Youth settles it down. We want to get one good shot away. With the last 12 seconds, game clock, shot clock almost identical. Newth, 25-footer, drops.
Lovely play by Newth. Can the Bolts get one? 2 seconds left. It's going to be McGann for a long one.
Ooh, as good if it goes.
And that's the first quarter, and it's the Tamworth Thunderbolts who have the early lead, 26 points to 20 over the Hills Hornets here at the Park Stadium.
Riley Murphy with the 5 points to lead all Tamworth Thunderbolt scorers. Oh, sorry, Kayshawn Hawkins.
Looks like Quayshawn Hawkins has picked up 9 points there, and it's 6 points apiece for Carlos and Jamie Newth for the Hills Hornets.
Kyle Carlos started the quarter very, very hot with 2 3-pointers.
Whilst there is a quarter-time break, it's a good time just to give a quick shout-out to our sponsors. And Basketball New South Wales would like to thank their official partners, New South Wales Office of Sport, Spalding, Carney Sports Marketing, PCYC, Cedar College, the New South Wales, the Sydney Kings, the Sydney Uni Flames, and the Allied Couriers. And Basketball New South Wales is also excited to announce the continuation of the Sydney Kings HSC program for 2020, which is delivered in partnership with Cedar College and the Sydney Kings. The program is aimed at years 11 and 12 students, providing them with an opportunity to complete their HSC studies within sport and community settings. To learn more about that program, visit www.cedarcollege.newsouthwales.edu.au.
The Thunderbolts will have a little bit of wind in their sails with this 6-point lead, but it's still very, very early days in the semi-final of the Division 1 Waratah League men's basketball. 2 very experienced coaches that they won't be too excited either way. All balls for Basketball New South Wales are proudly brought to you by Spalding. And I really, really like these Spalding balls, Jack, because they've got their Australian flag icon on them.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's embossed in gold. It's a really, really nice thing to see a kid dribbling around a Spalding ball.
That's what you want. And I believe this Sporting ball is now available online at bnsw.com.au as we get underway for the second quarter. It's Benjamin Graham early on. Finds lovely ball. The new finds Graham. Dummies, looks for the second and shoots an air ball. They gave themselves plenty of space in that attack to get up a good shot. Unlucky there by Graham just not being able to land it there.
I think that guy's got shooting in his blood. That won't deter him at all. He's pure.
Hawkins finds Toby Whale. Toby Whale makes no mistake from the shoulder, adding 2 points to the lead, which is now 8 as it's 9 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Yeah, Toby Whale having a very, very good semi-final.
As a response, Jamie Newth couldn't find the net for the Hills Hornets, and it's Quayshawn Hawkins just more than happy to slow the play down a little bit and wait for the right play.
They move into their horn set, trying to isolate Quayshawn one-on-one with the two high screens. Hills reacted really well.
A bit of a funny play there. Almost looked like Chillingworth was willing to give away a foul at the top end, and in the end just tripped over his own feet, so he gave away the foul. It looked like he may have been happy to give away a couple of metres back.
Well, fouls they definitely have to give. I think they only accrued 2 in the first quarter. Youth.
Goes long, finds an open man, tried to get it back to Graham, but was intercepted by McMahon. McMahon going towards the basket there, but it was Benjamin Graham who cut off the play, giving away a foul in the meantime.
Brock McMahon will shoot a pair.
First basket's good for Brock McMahon.
Opportunity to extend the lead to 10.
McMahon makes no mistake there from the free throw line, and as he says now, 10-point lead for the Thunderbolts. 2 minutes gone in the second.
Referee looks like he wants the ball. They take it deep. Can they swing? Newt pops it up. What a shot.
A lovely shot there by Newt. Didn't have much space there, but didn't need much space, and a fantastic shot, and earns his team 3 points to reel in that lead, which is just starting to blow out a little bit. So a very good result for the Hills Hornets.
Stutter step from McMahon. Pops it up. That was a tough basket. Both players playing very, very good defense.
He's brought all of his confidence here today, McMahon. I'm more than happy to just pull up and shoot the field goals, and we saw him have an attempt of a long-range 3 early in the first quarter as well.
They get it to Breathview on the block. Tries to kick it out to Newt. Once again, the Tamworth Thunderbolts get a hand to it.
And a lot of support with their bench there, all up on their feet cheering. And Quayshawn Hawkins comes off with Riley Murphy coming on for the Thunderbolts, and it's Quayshawn Hawkins' first break after playing out the first 12 minutes of this one.
Toby Wales finds Skilton on the block. Spin move, up, under, doesn't fall. Great hustle. Fidel comes away with it. He loses it.
It's Chris Gilton looking to slow it down. He finds Riley Murphy, finds Toby Whale nice and open. Chillingworth looks, turns back, 2 more points. Lovely play there by Chillingworth, and that again extends the lead now at 34 points to 22 to the Tamworth Thunderbolts. And you can see a little bit of confidence just sneaking into their game as they continue to look to build this lead.
There we go. Up strong, Graham. Fidel doesn't drop. They've had 5 looks this possession. No basket. And the Thunderbolts are off to the races through Chillingsworth. Ooh!
He's come straight over the top of Fidel there. And it looks like it is a foul on Chillingworth for doing exactly that.
That's 2 fouls for coming over the top of players.
He earns himself a rest there. This is our first look at Cody Beresford for this afternoon for the Tamworth Thunderbolts.
Oh, he's one of my favourite players for the Thunderbolts, that's for sure.
Sneakily one of mine as well. Yeah, I went to a very good school there, I can tell you that much, Joe. No room there for Benjamin Graham to get that pass, but he has found a Thunderbolt feet and will get the ball back from the baseline.
They call a timeout, trying to find a rhythm. The Hornets haven't been able to get a good shot off in the last few minutes. They'll talk about it as Coach Radidas calls a timeout.
What would your message be if you were Coach Radidas at the moment, Joe?
Remind them that they're playing semi-final basketball. Yep. Remind them about all the work that they've put in this season. Talk about how proud I am of the opportunity that they've earned. And remember that when they take the court, because they're going to need to dig deep.
Yep.
Season's an awfully long time, Jack. And you really, really have to bring your dancing shoes to the show.
Speaking of the show, it took the Hills Hornets 2 cracks to get to this game. They went down to the Canberra Gunners, who will play in the grand final, 80 points to 73. But last week they made no mistake with their second chance, beating the Newcastle Hunters 89 points to 69 to earn their place in today's game. And we just think that for them to start to get back into this game, we really look at the likes of Graham and Fidel, who have already inserted themselves brilliantly in this game. 13 points and 14 points as averages this season for those 2 respective players.
Not exactly what you want to see coming out of the timeout. Hornets must get a stop. Skilton, he's experienced, he drives. Good defence.
Fantastic defence. He's managed to hold onto the ball there, which has been good by Skilton. Basket looks good there, and he will go to the free line for one more opportunity. One thing you can say about Chris Skilton is he's very strong in the air. If you look at some of these players' builds, they're quite lean, tall guys, but Skilton's also got that bit of muscle which he uses well, Joe.
Oh, and let's remember the veterans' craftiness as well. He picked up 2 offensive boards in that play.
Fidel now he finds an open man, puts up the shot.
Steps into his shot, had a good look.
Ooh, strong rebound to keep the play alive. Second chance, can't do it again. And it's McGann who cleans it up for the Tamworth Thunderbolts.
Hills Hornets coach Adidas knows that if his team makes shots, they are very, very dangerous. The shots have not been falling thus far.
One player that has landed a couple for them is Carlos, and it looks like he has just come to the side of the bench and he might be being re-injected into this game.
They need a spark. They dip it in low. Ooh! Goaltending. That's not something you see every day, is it, Jake?
It certainly isn't. I think he committed that foul with the net as well. It looked like he slapped the net and then continued on to hit him.
Being 5'8", I do appreciate a nice goaltend from time to time. As Riley Murphy brings up the ball. Good defense. Great lateral movement from Fidel.
Fidel did everything right there and almost earned his team the ball, but it gets second best with the jump ball, which will be theirs next time. It's a timeout being called by coach John Ireland for the Tamworth Thunderbolts now.
Benjamin Shack bringing the energy with him. That's the sort of intensity that'll get the Hills back into the game.
Now, one thing I do know about Benjamin Shack, he's very handy from the three-point line. He has already landed 33 pointers this season and has been a big part of the Hills Hornets road here today.
Well, hopefully he can find a way to heat up with 5 minutes remaining at Niagara Stadium. Do you have kids at all, Jack?
I don't know.
Well, I've got 4 sons,
Yep.
man. And one of the things that I'm really enjoying as a parent is the Active Kids vouchers. Active Kids vouchers give you families $100 to spend at any local sporting organisation. And this year, they're giving a second voucher. So get your kids involved in basketball. Give Basketball New South Wales a call and the local leagues, and they'll tell you how to get your kids playing with $100 in the family kitty as well.
It's a fantastic initiative and a great way to support grassroots sport, not just basketball, but all of our Australian grassroots sports. A brilliant initiative. And the second one, no excuse not to be playing basketball this summer. Will be Westhorpe just recently entered the court for the first time. He restarts the play here. He finds Riley Murphy. And again, shoots up a ball but falls it well short. And it's Fidel that's more than happy to clean that one up.
Kyle Carlos drives. Thunderbolts have created this defensive wall, making it really difficult for the Hornets to penetrate and get points down in the paint.
Off the back of that, they have earned themselves a 13-point lead, and as the lead has just stretched past 10, you see the Hills Hornets are really starting to apply a full-court press on the Thunderbolts, making it more difficult for them to play the ball out of their own end, and as a result, we're starting to see a couple of silly turnovers by the Thunderbolts, who are just starting to feel more pressure and less space on the court. Fidel finds Carlos. Will he shoot for another one? He's been perfect so far from the free-throw line. But it's Graham who puts one up and it goes to the right there. And the Bolts are more than happy to watch that one go out of the sideline. Time on their side. And the scoreboard also in their favour.
As Kayshawn Hawkins subs back into the game, he was able to steal 5 minutes worth of beautiful rest. They kick it out wide. Murphy.
Lovely play there by Justin Lear to keep that ball alive. I thought the Hills Hornets had done enough to shut down that attack. He finds Abe Westhorpe, and the ball does everything but land there for Westhorpe. And it's Fidel playing it back out, Joe.
Brahu with the rebound. They haven't really been able to get it inside because McCann doing an excellent job down low. Oh.
Bit of a falcon there, I think, in the end. Ball knocked out of Quayshawn Hawkins' hands and straight into the face of Jamie Fidel.
As Heath Weichman checks into play, he substitutes Kwaku Brefu, who has been a stalwart getting up and down the court. He'll need a rest, though. They'll need him in the second half.
Graham's also coming off for the Hills Hornets, who is their leading point scorer this season.
They swing. Westhorpe.
Second attempt for Westhorpe from the three line in less than a minute and unable to come up with the goods in either attempt. Let's see what the Hills Hornets can do with their play here. Well, I hear that right. We've even got a defence call coming from the Tamworth Thunderbolts faithful who've travelled down the highway today.
You know they're enthusiastic when they're calling defence and they're up by 13. Early days, but still, Hills will want to make a move. Pivots out of trouble. Good defence.
Lee couldn't turn that one.
From the free throw line, Pops doesn't drop. Grabs his own rebound. And let's see if they settle it with the new 14 seconds on the shot clock. They find Weichman.
Just can't reel that one in.
Too much chili on that pass, methinks.
bit of a dangerous play. They're cutting the key. They had two options on the 3-point line. Decided to try and cut it. Found his man, but just couldn't reel that one in.
And they've got the Thunderbolts have their starting lineup back on the court.
Two minutes, 40 seconds left in the first half, and it's Thunderbolts leading 37 points to 24 here at Niagara Park Stadium.
Skilton drives, dishes, beautiful pass. McCann with the lovely right-hand layup to finish. 39-24 with 2:25 in the second quarter.
Great vision there by Skilton, and maybe Coach Ireland is trying to get as much of the lead, or build on this lead as possible before the halftime hooter sounds.
Coach Ireland's very, very mindful that playing 2 games of this level of basketball in 2 days can be very, very taxing. So hopefully he'll get to rotate his bench players.
An important 2 shots here coming up for Heath Weechman here. He's had a fantastic season, 219 points at 12 points per game. Make that 220 points.
Very important free throw.
Makes no mistake there. Coach Freditas for the Hills Hornets would love them to finish strongly here, take a little bit of momentum off the Thunderbolts going into the half.
Great pass, great feed, great finish.
That was fantastic. A bit of a high-risk play there, going straight through the middle of the key, but a brilliant vision by Quayshawn, and Skilton makes no mistake from right under the basket.
Able to get in front, McCann.
Had too much time, and he's pulled up.
Came down awkwardly.
He's clutching that left knee there.
Youth with the 3. They bury it. But play called to a stop. And the Thunderbolt rush to their big man, who's been playing his heart out this semi-final match so far.
Yeah, Scott McGann, this would be a huge loss for the Thunderbolts. Obviously, we spoke about a backup game straight away. I hope he's well and fit. He's been brilliant since coming back from the States. He had a stint over there, and that's made him such a better player and been a very handy pickup for John Ireland this season. 126 points coming into this game, averaging out 10 a game. He's been fantastic, and even here today, he's left nothing on the court so far.
Beyond the points, he's also doing an incredible job on these Hornets bigs. Really, really controlled the paint as he gets a standing ovation. My guess is he'll probably try to walk it off and send him to the change rooms for a bit of treatment.
Billy Parsons in his first season in the Division 1, making his first appearance for the day for the Thunderbolts. A minute 20 left on the clock in this first half. It is the Tamworth Thunderbolts leading 41 points to 29 over the Hills Hornets.
Youth chipped away with a 3-pointer just before the little injury break. Skilton backs down, draws the double team. Fidel for 3, doesn't fall. Quayshawn Hawkins rips the rebound down.
An open rebound there by Quayshawn.
Launches the 3. It's end-to-end stuff as we move into the last minute of the first half.
Fidel there. He finds a man that has caught his radar, and he's done it again. Carlos, that is his third 3-pointer of the half. I think it's only his third attempt too.
Quayshawn Hawkins for the last shot.
Can he get it up again?
Great. That'll make the Hornets fans happy as they have the last shot of the game. Shot clock's off. Youth with his experience. Looks, moves, drives. Oh, great defensive stop from Skilton. Lahid doesn't fall. What a game.
What a fantastic end to that half, and what a great half it's been, Joe. It's the Thunderbolts at the moment, 41 points to 32, but as the Bolts started to build on that lead, you really saw a lot more oomph and work ethic from the Hills Hornets trying to fight themselves back into it.
Well, they bought themselves a little bit of momentum, which is what you called in the second quarter. Current top point scorers are for the Tamworth Thunderbolts, Kayshawn Hawkins and Jamie Newth with 11 for the Hornets.
And it's also Carl Carlos has been fantastic for the Hornets as well from the three-point line. Nothing but net swishes so far, so he's definitely brought his radar up the highway.
Yeah, well, everyone's got a chance now to just catch their breath 10 minutes before play resumes. Just a reminder to all of the fans listening, Dream Hoops round 2 is just open. Dream Hoops is a program launched earlier this year to help kids in need while learning valuable life skills. And as a teacher, I can't extol the virtues of team sport enough, and Dream Hoops is a really, really wonderful program.
It's a fantastic one, and they've got a lot of programs which will be offered coming into summer, so make sure you check all of them out at basketballnewsouthwales.com.au. Well, that is the first half done and dusted here in the second preliminary final of the Waratah League Division 1 men's. There's the Tamworth Thunderbolts leading 41 points over the Hills Hornets 32, the winner of which will go through to play the Canberra Gunners Academy in tomorrow's grand final. They had a fantastic win in the earlier game, defeating the Illawarra Hawks 77 points to 67. A lot to play for in the second half. Stop playing Supercoach football. I'm freezing in Supercoach, so I don't need to check it for a while.
What? You are doing well, I'm out. I'm done. Oh, yeah. I've been tuning the round game, but I'm gone. My worst season ever. I'll let you get back to the Supercoach.
Look forward to it.
I think we're on in 30 seconds.
Right.
Welcome back to Niagara Stadium for the semi-finals, the second semi-finals of the Division 1 men. The Hills Hornets are currently trailing 32 to the Tamworth Thunderbolts, who have really done the job defensively and will enter the second half protecting a 9-point lead. My name's Joe DeGea. It's been a pleasure to call this match together with my good mate Jack.
It's great to be, better fix the microphone up there. Great to be here, Joe. And the winner of this game will advance through to tomorrow's grand final, and that will be against the Canberra Gunners Academy, who got the win in the earlier game, downing the Illawarra Hawks 77 points to 67. Fantastic game, that one, and what a great first half we just witnessed there.
Yeah, it sure was. And it's good to see that Scott McKern has lined up at his place on the bench. Took a bit of a spill towards the end of the first half, but looks like no permanent damage is being done. The Hornets, with everything to do, trying to hack away at this 9-point lead that the Tamworth Thunderbolts have earned. Basically on the back of some excellent work from their import, Kashan Hawkins, and the veteran leadership of Chris Skilton.
And Chris Skilton announced his retirement in the build-up to this final series. Just caught up with the two coaches at half-time. Jim Roditis, the Hills Hornets coach, said that they need to take away the Tamworth Thunderbolts transition and get the ball to the corners, because that's where they found success. Where John Islands has told his team he just wants more of the same in this second half.
More of the same has led to a 9-point lead as we see the Hornets try to push the ball into the corner.
Right on cue there, Joe. Just a little bit too high with that pass. It will be Quayshawn Hawkins who's really made his impact on this first half to play the ball out for the Thunderbolts. Chris Skilton with the three. Falls a little bit wide.
Absolute luxury for a coach to have such a capable guard like Quayshawn Hawkins. But speaking of capable guards, Jamie Newth has been doing really well that last half as his team's leading scorer. As he launches a three.
And lands it. Really important for the Hills Hornets to get off to a good start in this second half, and that's exactly what they've done here. Just really pulled in that lead from 9 points to 6 points, and already it doesn't seem like half the mountain it was just 50 seconds ago. Justin Leahy now with the ball for the Bolts. First real attack of this half.
Beautiful play inside for Chillingsworth. Just doesn't get that jump hook to fall.
Off the back of that, it's Fidel that works the ball out. Can't find the pass. Chillingworth has some space here. He's been tracked in quickly. Off the back of that, enough pressure in the end by Jamie Newth to prevent Chillingworth from an easy layup for 2 more points.
Oh, Fidel wheels and deals, shakes his head, probably wanted the and 1, but he'll be happy with the 2, and
So-
he's cut it to 4.
The halftime Oranges have really had some effect here for the Hills Hornets teams. They've come out firing, and the Thunderbolts, well, they've just missed their first couple of opportunities here of the second.
Oh, the little step back, doesn't drop.
Look for the fadeaway there, Krayshawn Hawkins, to try and get some momentum back for his team. A great opening stanza here. It was a 9-point ball game just 1 minute ago, but already back to 4 points. And it's the Hills Hornets with all the early momentum here in the second half. Jamie Newth there just tries to find the ball. Didn't find its man, but the play continues. Fidel
Ready to shoot, come out firing. Beautiful find to Leahy. Leahy with the easy bucket and an important 2 points.
And we've heard the Tamworth faithful's voice for the first time in this second half. Speaking of which, a quick shout out to the Tamworth Hotel, who I believe is streaming this live game. So a big hello to everyone back in Tamworth as well.
Definitely be checking out the Tamworth Hotel when I visit there next year.
Highly recommended. I'll give you my number, Joe, and I'll show you all the great drinking holes in Tamworth.
Whoa, Chillingsworth with his first bucket, and that made him very happy.
Yeah, look, Reese has been in the program for quite some time now, and in his younger days could get quite angry and easily blow his top, but he's really, over the last couple of years, really worked on just keeping a lid on it and using it for the best there. And we saw a very aggressive drive, turns it into a 3-point play there. So a fantastic bounce back for the Tamworth Thunderbolts, and good to see Chillingworth on the board here in the second half.
Cadell controls the action, finds Carl Carlos. That's a better offensive movement from the Hornets. Carlos!
Carlos now, that's 4 3-pointers from 5 attempts. He's been on fire, and I'm sure John Ireland will be telling his Tamworth Thunderbolts to cut his space on the 3 line.
The Hornets are starting to really buzz. It's coming out of the halftime break.
Riley Murphy finds himself some space and unfortunately can't finish off the layup.
It's great having a shot blocker like Joshua Warren on your team. And the and 1 opportunity. And the Hills faithful have come alive.
They have lit up there, the Hills faithful. I'll tell you what, they didn't have much to cheer about in the first half, but listen to that, and fantastic to see both teams getting a good crowd and support, particularly out of a neutral venue like this one here today at Niagara Park Stadium.
Heath Weichman to see if he can complete the 3-point play. Yes, he does.
Lovely play there by Weichman. Weichman's averaged 12 points per game all season, and he's well on his way to achieving that again today here in the semi-final.
Well, he looks like a big bopper. Time for him to really cut rip.
Krayshawn Hawkins just showed all of his experience there. Got a big rejection from behind, but kept possession, kept his cool, and put it up for 2 points there. And we're really starting to see both teams just go tick for tack here.
Youth. Chased down. Great hustle from the big man Warren. Riley Murphy picks a pocket and gets the bucket.
Brilliant play there by Murphy. 50 points to 43 here with 5 seconds gone in the third quarter. It's Weichman again from the 3. 4 short, and it's
Great hustle. Great speed.
fantastic by Krayshawn Hawkins.
Settle. Oh. Gets a hand to the ball. Who wants it the most?
It's Riley
Riley
Murphy.
Murphy does.
Clean it up there. Fantastic interception there by Carlos.
Toby
Unlucky.
Wales drops it to Hawkins. Great defense. Straight up. Ooh, he went straight up.
It was almost like he was playing for that three-point play there. He drew the foul, which was the first thing he had to do. Was unlucky with the shot, though.
Referee Williamson sends him to the line to shoot 2.
And it's Brock McMahon coming on, Riley Murphy coming off, and Riley Murphy has had a great start to the second half there, so well-earned rest there by the young number 4.
Killingsworth starting to heat up.
And that is the official warning for the Hills Hornets coach, Jim Raditas. It's very hard, these semi-finals, so many emotions. The whole season boils down to just 40 minutes of basketball. It's very hard to keep it all intact.
Yeah, sometimes it's a good strategy for a coach to show his players that he cares, and a little bit of a warning. If he achieves his aims, it's worth it. And already his bench starting to fire up.
It's Reece Chillingworth who's coming off there for the Tamworth Thunderbolts. He's come out, he's been a little bit fired up. I believe that is his 3rd foul of the game, Chillingworth. So John Ireland's just come and given him some time on the bench. Replacing him is Burke, who's also been in the system for as long as Skelton, and will also finish at the end of this campaign.
Fidel for 3. 52-46 with 4:44 on the clock. Hawkins kicks it out to McCann.
Unlucky there by McGann, but great to see him back on the court. It didn't look good when he first went down in the second quarter there, but he's come up well. 3 points goes up. Unlucky there by the Hills Hornets.
Woo. Starting to get a bit scrappy.
Yeah, we're just seeing exactly how much this game means to all the players out there. 20 games of basketball all boils down to this last 14 minutes. One team will be going home.
They'll be able to watch this telecast live for the finals. Keep an eye out for the finals at halftime. Basketball New South Wales will be announcing its latest round of inductees to the Basketball Hall of Fame. As Hawkins launches it from the top of the key.
2 points are good there. Defense chance goes up for the Thunderbolts faithful. Let's see what the Hills Hornets can do. They've been a lot more polished with their attack in this second half.
Gonna have to shoot. 8 seconds on the clock. Big play by Heath Weichman. Good, strong, low post play.
Uses all of his height with his attacking drives there and makes no mistake. Brock McMahon with the ball, just looking for options.
McCann switches. Toby Wales doesn't fall. Little floater. Fidel looking to get involved. Great defense from Brock McMahon.
Fidel finds his right-hand man, Jamie Newth there. He shoots it out, shots up.
Warren able to drain the 3.
Shot's good, and it's now a 4-point ball game on our hands. It's 55 points to 51 in favour of the Tamworth Thunderbolts, but their 9-point halftime lead has been cut almost in half. 2 minutes 50 left on the clock here in the third quarter.
Burke, nowhere to go. Great interior defense, and the Hornets coming alive as Benjamin Graham enters, giving Jamie Newth a well-earned break. This guy's worked hard, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Newth and Fidel have really controlled the pace and the attack of the Hills Hornets and done it very well. Found their big guys in the key, and they've been brilliant under the basket. Good start by Graham. Speaking of finding big men.
Great dish.
Didn't take Graham long to insert his authority into this second half here. Finds Weekman underneath the basket, unable to make the most of the shot, but has earned himself 2 goes from the free throw line.
Free throws really make a difference in this sort of context. 2:36 remaining in the semi-final game. Weichman shoots the second, makes it.
Chris Gilton's coming back on for the Tamworth Thunderbolts here. David Burke makes way for him.
Skilton kicks it out. Fine Hawkins. Good shot, top of the key.
A lovely play.
With defense in his face.
And I think he's going to have to get used to this in the second half. He has been double teamed at times here, and it looks like Jim Roditis is going to try and shut down any space to Quayshawn Hawkins. Vidal with a drive.
Ooh.
Just gets pickpocketed as he comes up for the jump by Chris Skilton. Finds Whale on the counter. Unfortunately can't stop quick enough, and that all comes to a quick end with the travel there by Toby Whale.
Looking at the body language, the Hornets, they're not conceding defeat at all by any stretch of the imagination. They're getting back, getting their hands on loose balls.
And it's just one big man off, one big man on for the Hornets as well. Warren's off and Brufo's on.
Let's see if they can get it down low.
King Carlos with the miss out. He's been fantastic from the three-point line today. Unable to make the most of that attempt. Up the other end, it is Quayshawn Hawkins with his own attempt from the three-point line, and a similar result from Carlos's. Graham with the ball now.
Mismatch down low with number 13 Brayfu on McCann. They don't exploit it, and Skilton, the veteran, controls.
One thing that's been quite evident since Skilton has come back on here, Joe, is the rebounds have just swung back into favour of the Tamworth Thunderbolts. He just adds that in the air for the team from Tamworth.
Can he add a three? Not this time.
And it's Graham to work the ball out for the Hills Hornets. Looks around.
That's the mismatch. Weichman hits the 25-footer.
Weichman has definitely come to play in this second half. He's been fantastic for the Hills Hornets and really led the charge as they fight their way back into this game. Only 3 points separating the two teams now. 58 points plays for 55, but still in favour of the Tamworth Thunderbolts.
10 seconds on the shot clock for the Bolts. Hawkins finds a wayward foot. Do they reset the clock? No, they don't. Can the Hornets sustain this defensive intensity? Hawkins. Tough shot, off balance. Great rebound from McCann. And the foul.
I think McGahn wasn't too happy with the whistle blowing there because he found an open Justin Leahy directly underneath the basket. Instead, the Bolts will play it from the baseline.
No one in the penalty just yet. Skilton. Oh, what a way to end the third quarter.
Lovely play by Skilton there. Unlucky with the first, but used all his height to make sure he got a second attempt and made no mistake of that one.
Fidel can't answer. And we have a 5-point ball game at Niagara Stadium.
What a fantastic quarter that was. Easily the most impressive of the half. The Tamworth Thunderbolts, they shot off to a nice lead in the first half, but the Hills Hornets, whatever that was told to them in the sheds, they've come out firing and really makes for a fantastic fourth quarter we have on our hands.
Well, I might have to have a sip of water at the moment, Jake, because the atmosphere in this place is electric.
It is. To the right, we have the Hills Hornets faithful, and it's great to see them bringing probably about 100 odd, maybe 150 down up with them here to the Central Coast, and to our left, very similar with the Tamworth Thunderbolts. So great to see both teams have a fantastic supporter base which is willing to travel for them.
Well, if the quality of basketball is this good, I travel too. Let's take a look at who their top scorers for the game are.
Quayshawn Hawkins is on 17 points for the Tamworth Thunderbolts. Jamie Newth is on 14 for the Hills Hornets.
This is the time when people have to put their hands up. Stars have to shine. They're putting their season on the line now.
And
The Thunderbolts look nice and calm in the huddle.
I would expect to see a lot of the starting five for both teams finish out this game. Well, we do have a quick break. Basketball New South Wales would like to thank their official partners, New South Wales Office for Sport, Spalding, Carney Sports Marketing, PCYC, Cedar College, New South Wales, the Sydney Kings, the Sydney Uni Flames and the Allied Couriers. Well, this is it. 10 minutes left on the clock. One team will be going home and the other team they'll be advancing through to tomorrow's big dance against the Canberra Gunners Academy. It's all to play for, just 5 points separating them. And in 10 minutes, we'll know the result of this one, Joe.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it. I'm sure that the Canberra Gunners are also watching closely. They're up there in the stands as well. Leahy drives.
Finds Brock McMahon. What a fantastic start for Brock McMahon and for the Tamworth Thunderbolts.
Gee-hoo, he liked that three.
So did you, Joe.
There we go, Brehu.
Back to Carlos. He shoots it out to Graham. Graham just feels a little bit. No space there. Fantastic defensive effort by Matt McGann. However, it won't prevent him from giving away a foul. It'll be the Hills Hornets to play it out from their baseline.
Yeah, it's only his first foul. He's been very, very disciplined on the defensive end. Carlos and Skilton comes away with the rebound.
Carlos's confidence is very high from the three-point line, and you don't blame him. He's been terrific from that area today. 3 3-pointers already to his name.
Oh!
Didn't he love that one? What a terrific piece of skill shown by the tournament's most valuable player, Quayshawn Hawkins. Probably about 2 metres out from the three-point line. He had a defender in his face. Not only draws the foul, but also the three-pointer.
That is an amazing play. And all of a sudden, with that, the Bolts are up by 11.
Couldn't complete the 4-point play, but it hasn't taken long for the Bolts. They've had a very similar start to this fourth quarter to what we saw the Hills Hornets start their third quarter with. Weichman responds well, though, for the Hills Hornets.
Oh, these guys are going toe-to-toe now. There's a bounce in everyone's step. Chillingsworth on Brehu. Pulls up for the three. And Weichman, what a great second half he's having.
He's been terrific, and not only has he been so strong underneath the basket, but he's also brought his radar for the long shots too.
And he hasn't missed anything from the charity stripe as Brehu drives, kicks it out to Carlos. Ooh, unlucky. They're contending, they're competing. It's 8 points in it, but this game's still tight.
So is Chillingworth coming back onto the court. I believe he's already got 3 fouls to his name, so John Island must have brought out his stress ball for Chillingworth on the bench just before there. Let's see what Brock McMahon can do as he finds Justin Leahy. Straight back to McMahon.
They dip inside.
Pivot shot by Chillingworth, just no good there, and an easy rebound for the Hills Hornets, who are playing it out now.
One thing for sure, he won't stop launching him. That's
Graham for the three.
an important three. Takes it to 66-61 with 8 minutes remaining in the second half. Skilton, the veteran. Chillingsworth. Okay, Sean, jump step. Intercepted by Graham.
He just wasn't on the same wavelength as Chillingworth there. One thing about these Tamworth Thunderbolts, their last game, they trailed for about 36 minutes of that game and only just found the lead with about 2 minutes to go. So they know how to play 40 minutes of basketball, and that's exactly what they'll need to do here. It looked like stages that they would start to build a lead, but the Hills Hornets, they've been fantastic at just keeping the game in their grasp, and just 2 shots in it now.
With shooters and guards like the Hornets have, 5 points is not a big ask.
Not at all.
8 seconds, Youth. Finds Warren. Warren drives, no call. Jump step, up, pump fake, double, doesn't drop.
Did everything but drop then, didn't it? They really worked hard and only had a second left on the shot clock as well. That would have been a big play if they could land that. What can the Bolts do?
Hawkins. Leahy, that's a nice basket, doesn't fall. Oh my goodness gracious me.
One thing that we've definitely noticed over the past couple of minutes is both teams are a little bit more rushed in their attacks. We haven't seen them slow it down, and that is exactly what Quayshawn Hawkins is going to use all of his experience to do right now.
My guess is that's adrenaline coursing through their veins at the moment. Chillingsworth for 3. Oh, lovely.
Had plenty of time there, Chillingworth. He looked for the pass and he realised nobody's going to put the pressure on him, so he thought, may as well. He probably won't get that much space next time with that shot.
Hand down, shot down. Weichman drives strong, gets the roll.
It's a terrific drive Weichman's got there, and you can understand why he has played this season at averaging 12 points a game.
69-63 with 6:06 remaining. Murphy makes a good move to the basket. Benjamin Graham, cool as you like, walks the ball up the court. They look to the big men. Warren from deep, splash! 3 points, 66-69.
And didn't he like that one? Warren, a fantastic shot. If he took a step back, it would almost been a cross court there.
Geez, basketball's a beautiful game. McCann, he's threes, controlled by Youth. Youth pushes, drives, kicks it out.
It's Weichman who finds it back to Warren. Why wouldn't you after his first one? He drives instead. No good with the shot.
With a hand in the cookie jar, sends Warren to the line. As Coach Rob Bevan indicates 2 shots. And the Hornets really starting to roar.
They are. The Hornets, they haven't tasted the lead since early in the first quarter, and now with 5 minutes left to go, they're just 1 shot away from doing exactly that. It's been a fantastic comeback. The game was never blown out by more than 11 points at any stage, but the Tamworth Thunderbolts have been familiar with leading this game for the majority of it, so it's been a fantastic fight back by the Hornets.
Well, that's what you want your semi-finals to look like. Taking a look at the Canberra Gunners, I don't think they're too excited about the prospect of facing either of these teams. They both have been playing excellent basketball.
That's brilliant, and it's fantastic reward to all the fans, both Hills Hornets and Tamworth Thunderbolts, who have travelled for today's game at the neutral venue.
Basketball New South Wales do an excellent job making sure that games are played between metro and country venues.
Yep.
It's a really, really great way to see the state. I remember as a young person playing basketball for reps, just really, really enjoying going to all the different parts of this beautiful state.
No, it's fantastic, and it's fantastic to see that when teams do travel, they not only bring their 5 starters, that they bring a full bench as well. It just really gets behind the distances some teams have to travel.
Full benches, grandmothers, grandkids, grandparents. It's awesome. There's Warren standing up and being counted.
Hasn't he had a good last quarter here?
He's really said, get on my shoulders, team. I'll carry you. Him and big man Weichman really, really doing the job for them in this quarter. 69-67 with 5:09 on the clock. Hawkins, he's been great. Closely guarded by Graham. They push him right. He kicks it out. McCann to Leahy. Drives baseline. Ooh, what a layup. They call for the horns.
They're really going toe-to-toe now, and it's every shot's going to be so crucial here as the clock enters the final 5 minutes of the game.
Took that shot from...
His confidence is skyrocketing after his last long-range field goal. Unable to get the same result that time, and it is with Quayshawn Hawkins now just
calming things down. The Thunderbolts don't look like they're panicking at all.
And lovely play there by Reece Chillingworth. It must have been a message from John Island. They've looked a lot calmer since that timeout, and off the back of that, they have also found some points.
Great timeout there.
What can Weichman do here?
Warren.
Runs Worrell underneath.
Needed another half a second, and that would have gone in.
Coach Jim Rodita said at halftime he really wants to shut down the Tamworth Thunderbolts' transitional play, and they've done exactly that, and I think that's one of the big reasons they fought themselves back into this game so well.
But a couple of good offenses, and the Thunderbolts are still up by 6. What can the Hornets do to answer? They go to Warren for 3. It doesn't fall, and look at that rebound. That's my ball. Hey, Sean.
Very well boxed out there by the Thunderbolts. They had 4 players ready to pull in that rebound and only one green jersey within the key. Quayshawn Hawkins shoots for 3, his own, doesn't fall to them, and similar to what we saw at the other end, it's an easy rebound for the Hills Hornets, and it's Newth who plays the ball out. Finds Graham.
That's his second foul. McCann.
And a timeout is called for the Hills Hornets.
Okay.
You can hear David Burke. Look at him. He's shooting straight out. Burke here is Joe's another one of the, the old men, the experienced men of the Tamworth Thunderbolts who will hang up the boots at the end of the season. So he would want this just as badly as any of the others.
I know they're super motivated for the victory. They've been in many finals over recent years, and it's been a case of always a bridesmaid, never a bride. But could 2019's Waratah League this year be theirs? They certainly will be galvanised by their 6-point lead, but this Hornets team is by no means done and dusted. I like to take a look at the huddles. Everybody's in. They're all locked in, all ready to go.
We're in for a huge 3 minutes here, 6 points in it, and as we've seen in this last quarter, 6 points isn't a much of a lead at all.
Not with shooters like Fidel and Carlos on the paddock. And their bigs are shooting the lights out today as well.
Yeah, and look, this 5 here by the Hills Hornets have been the 5 to really get themselves back into the game, and as a result, John Island runs his starting 5 back out for the final 3 minutes here.
I really like the job there young Leahy has done. He's undersized against some of these Hornets bigs, but he's really held a good account of himself.
Yeah, he's used his strength very smart to counteract the height, which he does give a lot of the Hills Hornets. Yeah, attack falls down. And it's now Riley Murphy who'll play it out. He finds Skilton. What can the Bolts do?
The Hornets bench really were on their toes with that last shot. As Keishan, cool as you like.
Lovely link up there. Fantastic line he ran. And Reece Chillingworth made no mistakes finding him.
Weichman, good shot, doesn't drop.
Lee with the ball. He finds his ball carrier in Quayshawn Hawkins. Says, you get double teamed. Quayshawn Hawkins does around the back. A bit of a dangerous play, but Riley Murphy reads it well, and it's still in the favour of the Bolts. 10 seconds left on the shot clock.
Chillingsworth off the assist from Hawkins.
And that pushes the lead out to now 10 for the Thunderbolts. 77.67, and actually that is the score of the last game here.
Warren. Fidel for 3. Doesn't fall. They wanted that. And Skilton with a big rebound.
The Thunderbolts are coming home strong here, and off the back of that, we've really quietened down the Hills Hornets faithfuls.
We've reached the same scoreline as the previous semi-final, with 1:30 remaining, 77 to the favour of the Tamworth Thunderbolts. Chillingsworth for 3.
And he lands it. And don't the Tamworth crowd love that? They're up on the feet, and as you can now see on your feet, it's the Thunderbolts getting right around their players. A minute 22 left on the clock. It's now 80 points plays at 67 here in the last quarter.
Coach Ireland, very, very pleased letting his players play. They've got a lot of leadership in those huddles too. Coach Radidas drawing the O's and the X's now. What can he come out with? Has he got something in his bag of tricks to chop away at this 13-point lead?
Well, they did it so easily in the third quarter. They came out from half-time and really pulled a 10-point lead into a 3-point lead in the space of about 40 seconds. So they can easily do that again. Plenty of time to do that with a minute 22 left on the clock. Weichman led the way for them then, so it might be him to do it again.
Well, if I like I said earlier, if I had shooters like what the Hornets have got, I wouldn't lose hope.
A much bigger cheer from the Tamworth Thunderbolts and the Hills Hornets as they re-enter the court. That might give you an indication of which team does have the 13-point lead.
Yeah. If my 8-year-old, the ever eternal optimist, was here, he'd be just saying, "It's just five three-pointers, Dad." Hey, can they launch? Newth, can this be one of them? Ooh.
Falls short, and Chris Skilton shows all of his class in not only pulling in that ball, but also drawing a foul.
How many rebounds has he ripped down at crucial moments?
It seems in his basketball career he has really built the skill of timing his jump to perfection. He's always at the height of his jump right as the ball is pulled in. Finds Justin Lee with a long pass. Justin Lee tries to turn, grabs onto the ball. He's on the ground now. Looks like he was stopping for some photos.
Oh, he's breakdancing.
Does find Chillingworth, and Chillingworth finds a foul. It gets to that stage of the game now, I guess, Joe, where we will see a couple more fouls by the Hills Hornets. They just simply don't have the time left on the clock to allow the Thunderbolts to be comfortable with the ball.
They're one foul away from being in the penalty. Have to be very, very careful not to draw those unsportsmanlike fouls at this stage. Make sure you're playing the ball.
Both coaches are well and truly on their feet, calling the plays.
Has not given up at all. Excellent body language. Leahy with the steal.
And unlucky there by Jamie Newth. Jamie Newth and Marvin Fidel have done a fantastic job, particularly in this second half, on marking the dangerous Quayshawn Hawkins, but that time he does give away a foul.
They get a big body on the inbound play. 3 seconds off the clock.
A third foul in quick succession, and as a result of that one, it is free throw time for the Tamworth Thunderbolts. Makes it a lot more difficult for the Hills Hornets to pull this lead in now. And Chillingworth makes it more difficult again.
Yeah, the Tamworth crowd really, really enjoying being in such a commanding position with a minute left on the clock. Chillingworth makes both. He's had a great second half. A great game, actually. Carlos.
Can't do it. And it's Riley Murphy. He's the smallest on the court, but it hasn't stopped him from rising above the rest. Pulls in the ball and also draws a foul, so it's his turn to get a free walk to the charity line, as you called it earlier today.
He's played great defense. He's been all over the paddock today. He'll need to bring his A game tomorrow. As Tamworth Thunderbolts look to close this one out. Some very, very talented cards from the Canberra Gunners. Very talented guards. I think they match up well against the Thunderbolts.
As Justin Lee gets the rebound, puts it up, unable to capitalise, but a bit of emotion spilling over in back play.
Yeah.
And Leah is just reminding Worrell of the scoreboard there.
Play hard, keep it nice and fair. That's what we want to see, boys.
And look, as we touched on earlier in the call, it's 20 games of basketball have boiled down to this. It's very easy to let the aggression come right out now as you desperately try and create something for your team.
And I'm not sure how it happened, but they managed to get away with a 16-point lead as Warren comes out of the game. He's played outstanding all day.
He has. He's been brilliant and showing great sportsmanship going over to the Tamworth Thunderbolt bench and congratulating them.
Class. Well done. Well played.
Two more for Chillingworth. How can we go here? Makes no mistake with the first. $84-67 now to the Tamworth Thunderbolts, who look to have well and truly wrapped this one up. Make that 85.
Oh, it's been a great game of basketball. Hornets continue to launch from behind the arc as Skilton comes away with yet another defensive rebound. And that looks like it's the ball game, ladies and gentlemen.
Riley Murphy's going to play the clock down. The Tamworth Thunderbolt faithful, they're on their feet here. They're all playing 2 seconds, 1 second. That's a game, that's a ball game. It's the Tamworth Thunderbolts who advance through to the Waratah League Division 1 Men's Grand Final. They get the win over the Hills Hornets, 85-67, and waiting for them tomorrow is the Canberra Gunners, who got a good win earlier in the day, 77-67 over the Illawarra Hawks.
Our top point scorers today, Kayshawn Hawkins for the Tamworth Thunderbolts.
And we have our timekeepers. They're just finishing up a little bit of paperwork, I should say. A fantastic game there, Joe, and I would think that Heath Weichman would be very close to taking the honours for the top point scorer for the Hills Hornets. He was fantastic and really led the charge for the comeback in the second half. In the end, it fell a little bit short there, and with about 3 minutes to go in the final quarter, the Tamworth Thunderbolts really blew out to a lead that doesn't quite represent how close this game was for the majority of the 40 minutes.
It's great to see everyone in the huddle acknowledging each other's great efforts. This is a great way to end a game of basketball.
It is, and we saw the fantastic display of sportsmanship start with Warren, I should say, when he went off, and we're still seeing it now, and huge roar of the crowd. But it is the Tamworth Thunderbolts who will advance through, winning 85-67.
I'm Joe DeGea, and
I'm Jack Howard, and
it's been an honour calling this game for all you good people.
It has, and we wish all the very best of luck to the Canberra Gunners Academy and the Tamworth Thunderbolts in tomorrow's final. Make sure you tune into that one right here at Basketball New South Wales.
Peace out, y'all. Thanks, Dan. That was good.